Okay, so your campaigns are break even and they've been steady at break even or profitable for a bit and you're looking to scale. This is so exciting. This is like taking your ads to the next level. But something that I didn't realize when I first, was starting with ads is how kind of difficult it is to scale and what are the ways to scale, because Facebook can be really finicky and really technical. And the worst thing that you can do is not know how to scale and then do something wrong and mess up your ads that were already working. That is like the worst feeling in the world. So I want to show you my 4 different methods of how to scale your ads and what exactly to do. So I'm going to pull those up and kind of show you what to do for each one. So let me share my screen and we will just hop right into it.
Okay, let me turn it on here. And add me. I don't know why add me because I very rarely have anything to say, but it's fine. I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the ride. Okay.
Exactly. Okay, so what we're looking at here is you can see here that my ROAS are 1.34. They have been solid at that for the whole month. So this would be one that I'd be looking to scale, okay? So I'm going to show you the first method, and I have this document here. I'll put this in the description so you guys can follow it. And I have it in order from most effective to least effective, okay? So when I'm looking to scale, I'm going to try method number 1 first and method number 4 last, okay? So this is what we're gonna do. It's so bizarre and it's so weird. I don't know how it works, but it does, okay? The only thing we're gonna do is we're going to duplicate the campaign and double the budget, okay? Like I said, literally that's it. Do not change any other settings besides the budget, okay? So I'm gonna show you exactly what I do. So this is my campaign. I'm going to go to the campaign level here, have this one check marked, okay? So I'm going to go duplicate. I duplicate with the current settings, okay? This is some new thing they're testing. Do not do that. Duplicate with the current settings, okay? We're going to do ignore all this up here. We're doing one copy, okay? And then duplicate like that, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to double the budget. So if we were spending $100 a day, we're going to do $200 a day. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to schedule it for 6 a.m. the next day. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're EST, PST, just 6 a.m. your time. Okay, so today's the 30th. I'm going to schedule it for tomorrow at 6 o'clock a.m. Okay, and then you click publish. And there you have it. So not only do you have the one campaign that was running at $100 a day, now you have this new campaign schedule that's $200 a day. And so that means you're going to be spending $300 a day now, which is really exciting. So that is the first method. Super bizarre that it works and super random. But if you just do exactly that, you notice I didn't change anything else. I didn't touch the ads. I didn't touch the targeting. I didn't touch the, age, gender, any of that stuff. I didn't touch any of that except for doubling the budget and scheduling it for 6 a.m. the next day. So is that clear?
Yeah, it's weird, but clear.
It's bizarre. But this is like the most effective and the fastest way to scale.
It's
and the
easy. I like that it's easy.
It's so easy. And the nice thing about this, the reason why this doesn't put anything at risk is because let's say this one, for whatever, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I found this to work very well for our account. The reason why there's not really a lot of risk is you're not actually even touching the original campaign that was doing super well, right? Notice all I did was duplicate it. I didn't touch one single thing on that. So that one can still run and be profitable. And the other one, it's duplicated and doubled. We'll see how it does tomorrow. So a good just thing to keep in mind is like you never want to like go edit an ad that is actually working. I can't even tell you how many times our mentor like burned this into my brain because for some reason it like took me forever to like really get that through my brain. I don't know why. I would be like, oh, but it's fine to change the ad or it's fine to, no, it's just, if it's working, just let it be. So that's why this is
video on that. I think we should make a whole nother video on that too. So we'll talk about that more also, I think.
Okay.
Don't you agree? I feel like we need it. The amount of times that had to be hammered into our brains, I feel like.
Yeah, we can make a quick video on that. Yeah. So this method doesn't break that rule because we're just duplicating and making a whole new campaign. Okay. So you normally actually, the only other thing it's fine. You're fine to change the name. So you can see here, I just like to keep my names like, in order. So what I usually do is I say like D and D, which stands for duplicate and double. And then the date I did it just to keep it track. I put that at the start. So you got that. But other than that, you're not changing anything else. The name doesn't affect anything in the ad performance. Okay, so that is the first most effective way. This is probably about like 90% of how I scale the ads. Okay. Method number 2, it can be effective if you follow it exactly as I have it here. Okay. Don't try to do anything different than what I have here. It's effective, not as effective as this. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to increase the budget of the profitable campaign at the rate of 10% every 3 days. So let's say the duplicating and doubling hasn't worked. You've tried it a couple times. It's not really working for you. Okay. What you can do is go to the campaign. So I'm not going to do it to mine because I don't want to touch my existing campaign, but this was the one that was working. I'm going to click here and increase it by 10% every 3 days. That is so important. Don't do it more than every 3 days. So 10% of 100 is 10. So I'm going to make this 110, and I'm not going to click publish because I don't want to change it. But you're going to do 110 and then click publish, and you're going to let that settle out. So let that see, make sure you're still profitable on that one. And then if it is, you can do it another 10% every 3 days. So it's a lot, you can see it's a lot slower of a method, but it can work if you're having trouble with the duplicate and double.
And just to be clear, it's 10% of it keeps being 10% of the new total.
Exactly. So 110, and then 3 days later, it's whatever 10% of 110 is, right? So it gets to be some weird amounts, but don't try to do don't just go from like 110 to 150, right? That's too big of a jump. That'll send you back into like the whole learning phase and everything. So 10%, let it settle out for 3 days, 10%, let it settle out for 3 days, 10%. It's a little bit of a grind. That's
each time every 3 days, you're just confirming that it's still profitable at 1.5 return on ad spend. If it is, that's the green light to go ahead and scale it again by 10%. Okay, exactly. I got it.
Yep. And you only want to do this if, like Maria said, if it's 1.5 or higher, because you want to give it some wiggle room to still be profitable, if that makes sense, because you are editing one that's doing good. So you want to do it to one that's doing really good. So if it's a little bit less good over the next couple of days as it's settling out, you're still breaking even. Does that make sense?
It absolutely makes sense, but I'm only going to do this if for whatever reason the duplicate and double method of scaling didn't work for that particular one. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
Okay. So this one is less effective. It still definitely can work. It's just more like, it's just a little bit of a slower grind because it's kind of like when we first launched our campaigns, we were doing a lot of testing and things like that. This one is not as effective as the first two, but the only thing you're going to be changing, so you're going to duplicate it like you did with method 1, duplicate the one that's working. You're going to keep the audience exactly the same, and you're going to try out new ad creatives. Okay. So you're going to try out, totally different ads and see if that attracts a different kind of audience. Okay. So this could be a good way to scale because it's showing different creatives that may pull in, different people. So you could get a profitable one going that way. That's more similar to, if you remember in the KPIs video, I was saying test out new ad creatives. It's a way of scaling because you can get another campaign going. But it's not as simple and as effective as the first two, if that makes sense.
Yep. Makes sense. Okay. Just out of curiosity, how often do you use method 3 or 4? Like what percentage?
I not very much at all. I think I 90% do method 1.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's also because our audiences are so large. We have a lot of people to show our ads to. So that's why I really stress that it's important to get big, broad audiences if you can, because then method 1 will work really well for you.
Okay.
And it's just super simple. Okay. But if you have a smaller audience and people are seeing your ads more often, and then that's when you would start to need to test out new images and video, things like that. Okay.
Yeah, actually, so hang on. That's actually really important. I get it now, what you're saying, because it's the reason why is because we need to show new creatives to the same people because we probably have a smaller audience.
Exactly.
And that's why method 3 is more effective if you have a smaller audience.
Exactly. It can work, but it's more, it's just a little bit more work and exactly. It's not as simple as literally duplicating it. Nothing gets more simple than Nothing gets more simple than that, right? So
Okay,
so method 4, least effective but still works, is you're going to try to come out where you're coming up with different audiences. So again, this is kind of like what I was showing you in the KPIs video as well. The problem and the reason why I think this one is the least effective is because eventually you're just going to kind of run out of audiences to test. So there is a kind of a hard stopping point on the amount that you can scale this method, right? Because it's okay, I've tested out lookalikes 1 through 10%, and I've tested out my email list. But then at a certain point, it's you're going to run out of audiences to test. It can still work. if you, let's say you're stuck at like $100 a day or $200 a day, this can work. But if you're already at like the 2,000 or 3,000 per day mark, it's probably not going to work as well because you probably already tried all those audiences. So least effective, but can work if you're a smaller account, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
Okay.
Cool.
So 4 ways to scale. That's a proper way to do it. The biggest thing for method one is like, don't change anything. And you should be good there.
Cool.
Yep.
I love it. I love that some of this stuff I've never learned before because I feel like I can really almost like be in the audience's.
No, I think it's very helpful because you're like asking clarifying questions and things like that. I think it's very helpful.
I feel if I ever need to do this myself, I feel like I'm just going to watch this video and relearn it.
When I'm on vacation, Ray's going to be like, okay, method one.
If you have to like take a second maternity leave or something, I'm going to be like, okay. All right.
Next.